Okay, flashcard module number 8. Glad you all are still with me after all these modules. What are 4 physiological considerations for training youth? VO peaks similar to adults when adjusted for body weight. Submaximal oxygen demand higher than adults. Glycotic. Enzymes lower than adults. Sweating rate decreased. Tolerance to temperature extremes. Which functions decrease with age? Maximal attainable heart rate, cardiac output, muscle mass, balance, coordination, connective tissue, elasticity, bone marrow density. The condition of subcutaneous fat exceeding the amount of lean body mass. Obesity. What are 3 comorbidities common in obese clients? Hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. It is remembered that obese clients partake in this type of exercise to decrease orthopedic stress. Weight supported, such as cycling or swimming. Chronic metabolic disorder caused by insulin deficiency, which impairs carbohydrate usage and enhances usage of fat protein. Diabetes. What are 4 special considerations for training clients with diabetes? Make sure client has appropriate footwear. Have client keep a snack with them. Use SMR with care and under supervision of physician. Avoid excessive polymetric training and higher intensity training. What are 6 special considerations for clients with hypertension? Avoid heavy lifting and valvasta maneuvers. Don't let clients overgrip equipment. Modify tempo to avoid extended isometric and concentric muscle action. Perform exercises in standing or seated position to allow client to stand up slowly. Progress slowly. What blood pressure reading defines hypertension? Greater than 140/90. Circuit and PHA resistance training systems with appropriate rest intervals are recommended for clients with this chronic condition. Coronary heart disease. Condition in which there is a decrease in bone mass and density, as well as an increase in the space between bones, resulting in prosperity and fragility. Osteoporosis. An inflammatory condition that affects the joints of the body. Arthritis. What are some training considerations for clients with arthritis? Avoid heavy lifting and high repetitions and stay within pain-free ranges of motion. At what training volume can regular exercise within the OPT model have a positive effect on the immune system? Low to moderate intensity with moderate durations 3 to 5 days per week. Which exercise positions should be avoided after 12 weeks of pregnancy? Supine and prone. Which state of cardiovascular training is contradicted for pregnant clients? Stage 3. What is the duration of the post-workout window of opportunity for carbohydrate and protein indigestion? 90 minutes. What are 5 nutritional guidelines for weight loss? Proteins, carbohydrates, and fats spread throughout the day. Choose whole grains and vegetables over refined grains and simple sugars. 4 to 6 meals per day. Avoid empty calories. Drink water adequately. The sum of the processes by which an animal or plant takes in and uses food substance. Nutrition. The average daily nutrient intake level that is estimated to meet the requirement of half the healthy individuals who are in a particular stage of life and gender group. Estimated average requirement. The average daily nutrient intake level that is sufficient to meet the nutrient requirements of nearly all healthy individuals who are particular life stage and gender group. recommended daily allowance. A recommended average daily nutrient intake level based on observed approximations or estimations of nutrient intake that are assumed to be adequate for a group or groups of healthy people used when an RDA cannot be determined. Adequate intake. The highest average daily intake level to likely pose no risk of adverse health effects to almost all individuals in particular life stage and gender group. As intake increases above this level, the potential risk of adverse health effects increase. Tolerable upper intake level. Values of nutrients that provide good guidelines for what constitutes an adequate intake of a nutrient. Dietary reference intake. Amino acids manufactured by the body from dietary nitrogen and fragments of carbohydrate. Non-essential amino acids. What are 8 essential amino acids? Leucine, leucine, lysine, methylene, penethylene, threonine, typothine, and valine. Say that 5 times fast. A food that supplies all the essential amino acids in appropriate ratios. Complete protein. A food source low or lacking in one or more essential amino acids. Incomplete protein. What are the 10 non-essential amino acids? Alanine, asparagine, aspartate acid, citrulline, glucamic acid, glutamine, glycine, proline, serine, tricyline. What are 2 semi-essential amino acids? Arginine and histidine. One of the greatest contributions made by dietary complex carbohydrate that is also associated with lower incidence of heart disease and certain types of cancer. Fiber. Neutral compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which make up a large portion of animal foods. Carbohydrates. What are 3 dishydrates? Sucrose, lactose, and maltose. How many calories are in a gram of carbohydrates? 4 calories. What is the ultimate nutritional limiting factor for exercise performance? Carbohydrate availability. What are 4 reasons why the body needs carbohydrates? Preferred form of energy, consistent need for replacement parts of central nervous system, rely exclusively on carbohydrates, efficiently burn and use fat for protein. What are 5 things carbohydrates provide the body? Nutrition, satiety, cellular fluid balance, blood sugar levels, protein conservation. How many calories are in a gram of fat? 9. Which fatty acids are considered to have favorable effects on blood lipid profiles and may play a role in the treatment of prevention of heart disease, hypertension, arthritis, and cancer? Monosaturated fatty acids and polysaturated fatty acids. Which macronutrient is responsible for acting as a transport for vitamin A, D, E, and K? Fat. For what 5 things does the body need fat? Energy, structure, and membranes function, persecutors to hormones, cellular signals, regulation of uptake and excretion of nutrients in cells. What percentage of human body weight is comprised of water? 60%. What 6 items decrease as a result of dehydration? Blood volume, performance, blood pressure, sweat rate, cardiac output, blood flow to skin. What 4 items increase as a result of dehydration? Core temperature, heart rate, perceived exertion, use of muscle glycogen. What two items are retained as a result of dehydration? Water and sodium. What amount of fluid loss will adversely affect circulatory functions and decrease performance levels? 2%. What four bodily processes improve as a result of adequate consumption of water? Endocrine gland function, liver function, metabolic function, body temperature regulation. A substance that completes or makes an addition to daily dietary intake. Dietary supplement. What is the traditional reason for use of a dietary supplement? To provide the body with nutrients that might not be adequately supplied by a diet. What three macronutrients can cause serious adverse effects such as birth defects, clarification of blood vessels, and damage to sensory nerves? A, D, and B6. What four nutrients have the greatest potential for excess dosage in dietary supplements? Vitamin A, vitamin D, iron, and zinc. What is the result of excess consumption of vitamin D? Calcification of blood vessels and kidney, heart, and lung damage. What is the potential result of excess calcium intake? Kidney stones. What is the potential result of excess iron intake? Interference with absorption of other minerals and gastrointestinal irritation. Substance ingested with the intention of increasing athletic performance. Aerogenic aids. How much time does a fitness professional have to make a first impression? 20 seconds. What 6 actions can be taken to make a positive first impression? Make eye contact, introduce yourself, smile, shake hands, remember client names, and use body positive language. What qualities are important to emphasize as a personal trainer? Look professional, build relationships, listen, maintain confidentiality, and ensure safety. What are 4 key predictors of exercise, participation, and adherence? Number of options, support from outside environment, convenience and location, and cost. What are the trans-theoretical model stages of change? Pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, termination. People at this stage of change have no intention to change, don't exercise, and won't start exercising in the next 6 months. People at this stage of change don't exercise. Pre-contemplation. People at this stage of change don't exercise but are thinking about starting within the next 6 months. Contemplation. People at this stage of exercise occasionally plan to make it a regular thing within the next month and may have unrealistic expectations. Preparation. People at this stage are regularly exercising but have not maintained the behavior for at least 6 months. Action. People in this stage of change have been regularly exercising for at least 6 months, but still may be tempted to return to old unhealthy habits. Maintenance. The stage at which there is no more risk of relapsing back to old unhealthy habits. Termination. Body language should always display a sense of what 3 characteristics? Openness, friendliness, and warmth. What provides motivation for exercise and the foundation for exercise prescription? Health concerns. What is one primary reason a person sticks to an exercise program? Stress reduction. What is the next step after the first impression and discussing health concerns? Clarifying goals. What can lead to injury or a client dropping out of an exercise program? Unrealistic goals. The aspect of a relationship characterized by similarity, agreement, or congruity. Rapport. What includes measurements of body composition, cardiorespiratory fitness, and movement quality. Initial session fitness assessments. Type of questions that can be answered with one word or a simple yes or no. Close-ended directive questions. Questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no and allow clients to give more information. Open-ended, non-directive questions. Communication using spoken words. Verbal communication. What someone is thinking reflected in body language. Nonverbal communication. Explaining procedures and explanations, being sensitive to clients' feelings, consistency, and positivity are all examples of what? Effective communication skills. What are the elements of active listening? Pay attention, avoid distractions, look the speaker in the eye, provide feedback when the speaker is finished. Technique to make sure a client understood what said in order to communicate understanding. Reflection. Draws all important points of a conversation together and allows client to clarify what was said. Summary. Positive comments showing appreciations for a client's thoughts, plans, or skills. Affirmations. What are 4 primary kinds of support? Instrumental, emotional, informational, companionship. Practical factors like transportation to the gym or a spotter when lifting are examples of what kind of support? Instrumental support. How is emotional support best expressed? Encouragement, caring, empathy, concern, and praise. The directions, advice, suggestions, and feedback given to a client by the fitness professional. Informational support. Family, friends, and coworkers that positively impact exercise adherence. Companionship support. What are 3 primary barriers to exercise? Busy schedule, lack of time, poor social support, low self-confidence. What are 3 barriers to exercise that come from unrealistic goals? Lower motivation, decreased self-esteem, don't provide sense of success. The misrepresentation of overemphasizing the difference between one's own body type and others. Social physique anxiety. What is the primary motivation for clients to use the services of health and fitness professionals? Improve quality of life. After what length of time do many individuals drop out from exercising? 6 months. What are 3 behavioral strategies to improve exercise adherence? Self-management, goal setting, self-monitoring. The ability to look at one's thoughts, behaviors, and emotions and change what isn't working. Self-management. For what does the SMART goal acronym stand for? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Goals that are challenging but not extreme. Attainable. What function does the exercise log serve for exercise adherence? Self-monitoring. Strategies that aim to change a client's thought and attitudes towards exercise. Cognitive strategies. What are some strategies to increase exercise adherence? Positive self-talk. Imagery. Process that produces internalized experiences to support exercise adherence by visualizing things that pertain to goal attainment. Imagery. What are 3 things the use of imagery enhances during exercise? Confidence, muscular control, positive feelings, and outcomes. What are 5 physiological benefits of exercise? Promotes positive mood, reduces stress, improves sleep, reduces depression, and reduces anxiety. Woohoo! That is the end of flashcards number 8. Thanks for sticking through it, and I hope that helps you study.